The first thing to remember is that this is a protest backed by a credible threat, a threat that we shared with HMRC, tax experts, tax journalists and tax campaigners, and so far, so good. Fair Tax Town started in Crickhowell, but it's a concept that to succeed must now be shared and scaled up to ensure success. It has 4 components to the strategy.
Quadrant 1. Win your high street. We all need to do this. First, it's all about fair tax for all business. Ensuring your community understand it's about fair tax for all business, big and small, global and local. Make it clear we will all pay tax. As the protest, it is not about dodging tax, avoiding tax, or not doing what is right. But we reserve the right to go nuclear because George Osborne must see the threat as credible. But that will only be used as a last resort. Get 80% local support. Don't go for 100%, that's just not credible. The majority will do, and sooner or later the rest will follow. And local suppliers. Suppliers are key. This is because our focus is on businesses that engage, promote and support local suppliers. This underlines our community values to win on our high street, and for that matter, any high street that wants to be a fair tax town.
So the next quadrant of the strategy covers focus the fair tax debate. We need to focus to ensure we do not become all things to all people. Win over the public to fair tax gets our consumers, customers and communities to understand the small and medium-sized businesses generate the wealth and we pay the 20% corporation tax that is then recycled into our schools, our hospitals, our roads and our day-to-day lives. And that is the right thing to do. Make friends in the HMRC is all about ensuring we don't make HMRC our enemy. They're civil servants. They act with integrity and principles. It's the government, and not just the Tories that started this. It started with New Labour. And it's the government that are the target. Also, it's the multinationals, the big corporates, that take without paying back their fair share. This allows them to spend profits on marketing their brands and dominating the high streets through unfair pricing strategies, and this impacts on the high street competitive balance. We need to name and shame them, and that includes their CEOs and their financial directors, because these are the tax avoiders we intend to single out. We want their employees to challenge them about their behaviours, because this is a morality issue. It's not a technical tax issue. And we want to get political allies. We must get our communities to engage their MPs, MEPs and councillors to support our position. Paying fair tax is a concept they will find it very difficult to say no to. But we must get them to declare their support. We will use change.org to start a petition, and we won't accept neutrality on fair tax. We need to make it clear that it's fair tax for all that we intend to pursue.
Create scale. This is the critical success quadrant of our Fair Tax Town strategy. Without scale, we won't get a seat at the table. HMRC have challenged us to get scale as a prerequisite to the next step, so this is critical to the protest. Link to existing networks. One way to do this is to find existing networks and campaigns that are aligned to our thinking and work together to build momentum. A good example is Totally Locally, who we have already started to build a relationship. But a word of warning, we must ensure we do not dilute our vision. We must test any alliance against our mission, and we must beware of being associated with the lunatic fringe. Our success will attract a wide range of causes, and Fair Tax Town must stay focused. Recruit 500 high streets. To get scale, we must have a target, and 500 high streets contributing 10 million turnover a year represents the 1 billion tax revenue that George Osborne would lose out on if we went nuclear. James Haar, head of HMRC Corporate Tax, would sit down with us if we had this scale. He has said that to camera during the making of the BBC Two documentary. Establish ambassadors. Fair Tax Town ambassadors are named individuals or groups of individuals who will lead the Fair Tax Town strategy in their communities. We will coach them, support them, and encourage them to build momentum and a coalition of the willing in their towns.
Get media champions. To be on page 3 of the FT, have a Times editorial and half page in the Indie is a great start, but we need media champions who will stick with us and champion the cause. To achieve this, we must have an active media strategy for the next 6 months. The BBC Two documentary is a 1-hour commercial in late January, and by then we must have an integrated media strategy controlled by Fair Tax Town. And don't forget, Gorgeous George is our target. Only he can change this unfair system.